All right, this is Brent Leary, and I am sitting here with Molly Ford, Senior Director of Global Equality for Salesforce. Molly, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
There's a story behind your name, but we just can't get into it.
We don't have the time.
We don't have the time, but we're here because Trailhead X is going on. This is the first day, and this is my second time being here. I'm really looking forward to it. A lot of folks out here. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you about is the whole role of equality in Salesforce. But before we do that, maybe you can give me a little bit of your personal background.
Absolutely. So I'm 7 years part of the Salesforce Ohana. Ohana for the Hawaiian term for family, so our chosen family, so part of the employee base here. I started my career as a communications person, and throughout my years, I would always look for representation or opportunities to see people like me, whether that's on stage, in print, to see those people reflected back at me. And so I started to organically, during my PR tenure here at Salesforce, kind of work on putting women on stage, people of color, and really wanting to see that community reflected in the voices that we hear from Salesforce. And that led to me creating the Women's Summit at Dreamforce. That was 2015, and that was taking Dreamforce, known as the world's largest software conference, and spending one whole day dedicated to exploring women leaders, women thought leaders. So you see these amazing conversations happening on stage, and then you look up there and say, wow, those are all ladies. Right? Really powerful. And that grew into me kind of creating my own role. And I moved into employee success, or what we call HR here, kind of working on diversity. And within months, the company decided we've done things to advocate for LGBTQ in Indianapolis. We've done equal pay. We focused on high potential women and advancing gender equality at Salesforce. But we really wanted a team that would be proactive and be accountable. Where's the accountability? Who's driving this strategy for the company? And so think about Salesforce in that we have 4 core values. Trust being our number one value, trust with our employees, trust with our customers, growth, innovation, and then equality. And so we said, how do we really live out equality and manage that? And with that, we hired Tony Prophey as our Chief Equality Officer. Tony had been a longtime customer of Salesforce from HP and Microsoft. And he had the opportunity to move and to become part of our Salesforce Ohana. And we built a team that said, we need to focus on driving equality for the company. How do we turn this core value? And we actually run equality as if we're a business unit, like we're a cloud strategy for the company. And we have a V2 Mom, as you know, our guiding principle for the company.
Just so folks know, what does V2 Mom?
Absolutely. Vision, and then your values, methods, obstacles, measures. So if we said my V2 Mom was to lose weight, then we say, okay, how do we all make that happen? And what's our vision for that? And what's our methods? How are we going to get that done? Is that drink water, exercise, run a marathon? And what are your obstacles and measures to have that happen? So we created the Office of Equality. And I like to say that my day job is to sell equality, to bring our employees on this journey. I need 30,000 employees and our customers to join us on this path to equality.
So Salesforce has been a really successful company over the years. What role is equality playing in that ongoing success, and what role will it play in the future?
Well, we know from studies that are like in McKinsey that companies that focus on gender and racial equality have the opportunity to outperform their competitors, that they can be more successful. So we do equality because it feels good, but we also do it because there's a business value. We also think that our equality narrative between equality and giving back, our 1-1-1 model, where we're giving 1% of our employees' time to schools, 1% of our equity to nonprofits, and NGOs can use our products, that's helping us to attract and retain talent. People want to come to a company that's saying, wait, we don't have all the answers, but we're trying. And more importantly, we're saying that we're going to advocate and stand up for our employees and customers.
You guys are doing a special award around equality tonight.
Yes.
At this overall Trailhead conference. So it seems like equality has become a really central part of Salesforce. Only starting, less than 2 years ago?
Absolutely.
Why has it become so immediately a part of the culture?
I think it's a time where we've seen Salesforce make some moves, again, in Indianapolis, standing up against discriminatory legislation, advocating for women and equal pay. And this became a time where we said, okay, let's have a concentrated focus. How do we do this and drive our business as well? And I think also it's a time where our employees, we know studies are telling us that millennials want to work for a company that gives them a greater sense of purpose at work, that is doing that advocacy. We saw Mark stand up a couple weeks ago and talk about CEO activism, a responsibility to not only provide for our shareholders, but also be defenders, right, of our values. So it's a great time, but we're really excited about tonight's Equality Awards. So the Salesforce Equality Awards will honor trailblazers in equality that have been advocates that are standing up and using their voice. So for example, that's actress Evan Rachel Woods. She stood up and actually testified about Me Too and about harassment that happens within her industry, and especially acting as a model to us in tech. Then we have the Honorable former Mayor Edwin Lee. So Mayor Lee was a strong partner to Salesforce, especially in driving technology into education, helping us with our program that's simply called Circle the Schools, where Salesforce executives go partner with a principal at a school, a public school, and we say, what do you need? How do we help you? Whether that means buying iPads for the classroom or that means painting over graffiti, right? And providing a principal's discretionary fund. So that partnership with Mayor Ed Lee was invaluable to Salesforce, right? And he will be missed. And so we want to honor his legacy, and his wife will be joining us to celebrate his award. And then also we have the Honorable Stevie Wonder. How amazing is that? An equality trailblazer, an activist, and whose music is like the soundtrack of the 70s, the 80s, and even modern day times. And then we have Emily Chang. She's also, an anchor for Bloomberg, but also the author of Brotopia. So really bringing to light some of the conversations that are happening in Silicon Valley about whether that be a bro culture or about discrimination, and how we can really drive gender equality in tech. And last but not least, because we're here at Trailhead DX, we want to honor our community developer folks, and that's Shona Hughes. Shona has been instrumental in taking her personal time Saturdays. She has kids, right? And Saturdays she's teaching Pep Up Tech. So she's taking underserved kids and teaching them how to code. She's teaching them how to actively get involved in the Salesforce economy. So tonight, we're going to take the time to honor those heroes and sheroes of ours, those equality trailblazers that are in our community, to just recognize them for the work they're doing and just let them know that they're appreciated and part of our Ohana.
So if we look 2 to 5 years from now, where do you hope equality will be? Not maybe just for Salesforce, but particularly when it comes to the whole tech community. Where do you see equality being in 5 years if things like you're doing catch on with other companies?
Right. So I think a lot of companies have joined us on this journey to equality. And we in the Valley, we're sharing best practices. We're talking. We've noticed that no company right now has the answers to solving this, but we're all working on it. So one thing we're doing is we're working on making Salesforce more inclusive. Right? We hope that spreads, right? How do you come inside our walls and be more inclusive? And then how do we spread that externally? In 5 years, it's hard to say. There's so many challenges with equality that we're facing, but I hope that we evolve, we have those wins along the way, and we can celebrate our successes.
And where can people learn more about what Salesforce is doing with equality?
Awesome. You can learn about that at salesforce.com/equality. We have our Equality Trailblazer information, also in full transparency. We have our diversity data and stats there, and reporting out what we're doing as a company. We have a lot of information about Ohana groups or employee resource groups, and those are the 10 organizations that are employee volunteer-led that are helping us drive equality inside Salesforce.
All right, thanks for your time. I know you are very busy, and I can't wait to see Stevie Wonder as well.
Me too.
We'll let you go so we can see Stevie later.
Thank you, Brent. Have a good one.